Good day, everyone. Here is another time for us to discuss for our lesson. I hope everybody's doing well, and I hope we are uh, progressing in our studies. Thank God for this another opportunity to discuss this subject for all of you, for the benefit of everyone. And I hope that this will help. This supplementary video will help everyone to uh, mas smoothen ang inyong pag-answer sa inyong modules. So this very hour, this very time, I'm going to discuss about peace education. So I hope nga makaya na ko ni tanan o discuss na to tanan ang 4 modules. So in your booklet, you have 4 modules in one booklet. Sa peace education lang siya. So I hope nga ako makaya og discuss everything in this one video because there's no need much to be discussed because I want you to read. I have given all the supplementary reading para sa inyo. So tanan nga naa diha is what is I'm going to discuss to you, but since limited man time unya ang uban dili makatan-aw sa atong supplementary video discussion. So I provided all the readings. So this time I'm going to discuss all of kung paningkamutan nga discuss na ko kausa. So this is IO 11. Yeah, IO 11 peace education. Peace education. So in your modules, we have the same format sa ato ang elective 12 or GE 12. The same format na siya. Naka-booklet onya I have included in there the course guidelines. So na-discuss naman ako ang course guidelines sa ato ang pag-discuss sa indigenous communities in the Philippines. So noon akong skip na ang pag-discuss sa course guideline. Anyway, mabasa man po na ninyo din na kung unsa na siya. And then we have the rationale. Rationale class about this peace education. Ako na siyang i-discuss a little bit and then I will move forward. So before doing that, I would like to share my screen. Share screen. Para niyo makita kung unsay there it is. Akong gina-discuss. All right. So, rationally, ang akong ibutang din is, it talks about people have reached a lot of things in life already. Na sila mga nakabot sa kinabuhi. Yet, they cannot find satisfaction and they wanted to have harmony with themselves. Usahay, kaning peace, dili na to makuha sa itong kagalingon. Because kung daghan na gani kag mga nakabot, daghan gani kag huna, dili mo makuha ang peace. So, human history, daghan sa ato ang human history na ay World War I, na World War II, even previous pa sa mga world wars, na ay mga tribal wars, na ay kagubot. So, we don't want to repeat that past. We wanted to paint a new future. Kanang walay gubat. So we wanted to have non-violence or peace. So by doing this, we need to work hand in hand na makahimo ta og new tomorrow. So gi-introduce dayon ang peace education so that everybody will have the participation. We need to learn to achieve peace by educating ourselves. Tudluan na to atong kagalingon. Magsugod na siya ang peace education class is magsugod na siya sa atong balay. So partly sa ato ang pag-discuss din sa atong peace education, I will be bringing up individual peace. I will be bringing up peace in the family. We will be touching a little bit in religion. So but for now, dinita sa rationally, nag-ingon niya nga magsugod sa itong balay. Education is not about learning Magbasa lang ta, mag-count, mag-read, but also teaching kids or young learners or even kamo makatuon ta to be a better human being. So mag maningkamot ta ang CHED nagbutang sa peace education so that we will produce graduates nga makahimo og difference, makahimo og butang maka peace loving people or naay morality. We don't want to have graduates, especially sa BSED. We don't have to have graduates nga palaway. So that is why gi-introduce og naa ang peace education sa curriculum sa atong CHED curriculum. So muna sa rationale. Alright, atong peace, primero na itong module din is history of peace education. Asa siya nagsugod? So, introduction, promoting a culture of peace is the best strategy in peace building today's society. So, dili lang tamang sige, he's good, but we need to have to promote a culture of peace. Unsa ning culture? How do we define culture? Culture is kanang unsay imong ginahimo ba? Unsay imong naandan? Unsay pala sa Pilipinas, atong naandan nga mag-aminta, mag-bless. That is a culture. Atong naandan para sa mga Catholics, maandan na to nga magpista yun. Bisag naay ginadili gid nga dili magtigom-tigom ana agi magpista. Andan sa mga kalakihan sa Philippines na ay sabong. Kung andan, that is culture, part of the culture. So we need to build a culture of peace. So we need to teach aron naay culture dapat magsugod nga naay ginatudlo. That is why naatay subject about this. So it is because peace education cultivates the knowledge base. So knowledge, skills kung naay mga conflict saan na to pag control or saan na to pag bring sa atong kaugalingon when there is conflict. Then we have attitudes, atong i-shape ang atong attitudes, and then we have the values nga mag-transform sa atong mindset sa atong panghuna-una. So before we study further, we need to attain peace. Let's learn first. Let us learn first its history. Kani peace, let na siya. So na typological error na siya. So palihog lang kung check ninyo din ha. Let us learn first its history. So tun-an na to ang history. Atong intended learning outcome in class is at the end of this module we will understand the roots asa nagikan ang peace education hangtod sa iyang modern development. Then let's also learn the key thinkers, mga thinkers, theories sa peace education. And then finally, human aning module you may able to discuss the trends in peace education. Unsay trends, unsay mga pamaagi o unsay mga pasunod. So, ang gihatag na akong activity, you need to watch this video discussion, history of peace education, and then read and understand the provided readings. So, atong provided readings mo na siya. Learning content, provided readings. I will let go on. Tagsa-tagsahon ako ni. I will just let you read this one. But the first part, nag-discuss siya o unsay nganong na ay peace education. Kinsa ni siya mga tao nga nagtabang sa development of peace education. So, nadinha, and then gisgutan pod in this part is the peace education in its modern form. So nakita niyo diyan no, academia. So meaning academic na siya. Kani adto is just kanang philosophy, kanang panghuna-una lang. Madili lagi ta mag-away, pero karon na ano ni academic na siya. Meaning ginatudlo na. So mo na nang gitawag na education. Peace and education is kanang giusa aron nga matudluan yun o ma-learn yun, ma-build ang peace culture. Okay. And then, na the 19th century hangtod sa World War I. Yan ay mga scholars nga nagbigin sila og study kung unsa man peace. We need to understand nganong dili mo na to makuha ang peace. We need to study about war. Ilang istudyon ang war. Dayon ilang gi-educate ang mga tao nga kung magubat mo ni mga danger, mo ni kakulangon, mo ni mahitabo. So but that is before World War I, but it happened. Kabalon ang tao nga ay unsay danger sa war na it's just happened yapon, mahitabo yapon. And it didn't stop in World War I. It continued to World War II. So nahitabo ni padayon yapon si na ay mga nigawas nga mga tao, nga mga thinkers who founded the modern idea of peace education. So na-mention ang ngalan sa mga theorists, the American educational theorist na si John Dewey. So we will learn more about John Dewey. Then na ay mga teachers across the United States who began to progress in teaching peace education sa ilang mga students. So in 1900s, women became an especially active part sa modern peace education movement. Na mga babae, peace educators began campaigning for social justice. Nanay social justice. So gi-appeal nila ang poverty, inequality, and the causes of wars. Ilang gi-discuss, ilang gi-learn. These campaigns often led by women. Ano siya? So, nigawas din ang pangalan ni Maria Montessori. So, kabantay mo anang mga school karon nga naay Montessori o kika na sa iyaha ni Maria Montessori. That is mid-20th century. So, kani siya na siya idea unsaon pagkabot sa peace, unsaon pagtudlo sa mga bata. Usa si Maria Montessori sa mga babae who campaigned for peace. So, nadiha dayon na apoy si Paulo Freire, kani siya, Paulo Freire. Anyway, one by one you will learn and you can read about their ideas sa later nga part ng mga module. All right. So, muna no, muna i-discuss. Then we have peace studies become a more serious academic subject soon after World War II. Nahitabo man ang World War II, naada yun ang peace studies. Naaday subjects, not subject, but course na karon makakuha kag peace education nga course. Naadyo'y kurso. So, like we said, in TREP, na peace education. So, ang peace studies, they offer po. And because they wanted to eradicate wars, and the threat of nuclear war throughout the Cold War. So, kani siya emphasize tun-an og maayo kung nganong naay war, and they study about aggression, domestic violence, militarism. So, pero wala po gyapon nila nakuha, historically wala po gyapon nila nakuha until in 1989 the Convention on the Rights of the Child was created. Kini ang foundation ani is peace gihapon. Then gisgutan ng human rights education. And then here comes UNICEF. UNICEF na usa ka writer dito nga si Susan Fontaine. Siya dito nagtrabaho sa UNICEF na agyapon gisgutan nila ang peace. So as you can see, as you will read this module, you will see the progression kung unsa nahimo ka importante ang peace. Before it's just a word or it's just dili na ta mag-away. Karon gihimo ng career, gihimo ng subject, gihimo ng kurso. Ngano man, very serious because as time pass by, ang peace nahimong importante na siya nga commodity. Kay without it, ilang nakita ko unsa ka problema, unsa ka dako ang problema ma-produce a war because they have passed World War I, World War II, then they have Cold War. So they wanted to improve, no, at least ma-eradicate na siya ng mga problema ng mga wars. Alright? Then in 1990s, peace education scholarship from around the world has provided an even greater variety of perspective. Nag-offer dayon og mga scholarship nga kung mo kuha ka og peace education na kay scholarship, and it provided a lot of perspectives or practices ug naay goals. So mabasa ninyo na diha. I will not go on one by one on that. Then ilaha pong na diri po nigiwas ang positive ug negative peace. So na diha ni-emphasize og say ang positive and negative peace. Anyway, mabasa man ninyo diha og napatay time akong ipakita ang other slide on about that. Naay natay slide about kung unsa na siya. Then ituduan po, teachers and others have shaped their programs to address the needs and goals of their communities. So mo na ni progress na ang idea. So karon kaniadto is just a one hantod na himong education, himong parts sa education, na himo na gyud kurso. Karon ang teachers, they are thinking of what to do. They become proactive. Proactive is before mahitabo ang gubot, unsa ilang mahimo, so that unsa ilang mahimo by teaching peace, unsa ilang mahimo. So naay mga philosophy sa Southern Africa, naay mga philosophy na nga gi-introduce. And then so muna no, makita ninyo ang history sa peace. Ningon din many peace educators seeks to promote some combination of the following ideas: human rights and the rights of the child, social justice. So mao ni ang atong mabasa sa mga peace education nga mga, kung mag-search mo sa net class, mao ni ang mga subtitle or subtopic inyo makita o mabasa when you search about peace education. So daghan, and right now there are a lot of social groups who are peace promoters, nag-promote sila sa peace. But in this parts ato, I'm not really sa ato ang pagtuon when we study about peace education, we are not really wanting to be kanang promoters o mag-start og peace group, but we wanted to focus on how to deal and how to inject peace education when you become teachers. And my goal here is also to give you a peace culture, mga paghuna-una unsaon pag in situations na naay kagubot, unsaon niyo pag-deal. So as a student, and then as a teachers to be sa inyong professions in the future, unsaon ninyo pag-share ito sa inyong mga estudyante ang peace. So mo na ato ang goal kung why we learn peace. Right? So in your module output, in a clean A4 bond paper, you will answer the following questions. Naiduha ka question. So muna primero ninyo nga module 1. So remember, you have to put the cover page as well. Cover page, ibutang ninyo ang subject, ibutang ninyo inside instructor, ibutang ninyo ang inyong pangalan. So in a clean A4 bond paper as well, you need to put your name and you need to put your section. Kaya in case nga matangtang sa staple wire, at least ang inyong module output na ay unsay tawag na ay name aron dili mawala. So duha ka question, you need to answer it. You need to summarize it, answer it. But pinakaubos din is 250 words 250 words each question. Ibasin og pataka lang mong answer at sira niyo gamay na dili na ko ma-check. And remember, I'll be grading you according sa content sa inyong answer. All right. Module number 2, defining peace education. Ang atong intended learning outcome is At the end of this module, you will understand the different definition of peace education, and you will be able to develop your own definition of it. So, maka-understand ta sa definition and maka-develop ta o atong kaugalingon nga definition. Ang atong activity, watch this discussion, video discussion. Supposedly, I will be discussing one by one module. Number 1, number 2, number 3. But ako na siyang usahon aron nga mausaran niyo og tan-aw. Then you are going to read and understand the provided readings. So, learning content, what is peace education? So, inyo nang mabasa din ha kung unsa ang peace education. Then we have definition of peace education according to different authors. Na-apil po diha ang UNESCO, what's the meaning sa UNESCO? You can read. And then na-mention again si John Dewey. Na-mention siya usab. And then na-mention ang United Nations. Unsa ilang definitions peace education. And then skill development and action. Kani siya in this subtopic gihisgutan kung unsa lang gyud kay basing magsigilan sila og isgut about peace education unya wala sila action, wala sila skill development. So in this part you can read kung unsa ilang gipang buhat so that students and participants sa mga peace symposiums will attain the skills and will put what they have learned into action. So muna no, nice skills, attitude, values, and then peace education is a process of developing knowledge, skills, attitudes, behaviors, and values that enable learners to nakalista din hi. Pila ka buok 1, 2, 3. Naitulog ka kung unsay imong gustong mahitabo, unsay imong makabuot when you study peace education. Then we have education about peace and for peace. Education about peace and for peace. Nag-define or ang iyang definition nag-emphasize the difference between learning about peace and learning for peace. So may diferensya sa learning about peace o learning for peace. What do you think is the difference? Yun ang mabasa din ha. And personally, I will say, learning about peace is magtuon lang ka. Magtuon lang ka. But learning for peace is imong tunan aron nga makabalo ka unsaon. Mura ba og magtuon ko about pag-ayo sa sakyanan. Sige, tuon kag-ayo sa sakyanan. Ay, nanaro din pag-ayo sa sakyanan. Pero wala jud ka nag-practical og tuon og himo ani. Pero kung tuon ka, magtuon ko aron makaayo ko og sakyanan. So tuon ka, and then you yourself you do it. So this is the difference personally. So you can read about that about peace and for peace. Say na siya difference ana. Then in module 2 also we will read and we will learn the scope. Say scope. Saan ang scope? Sandok? Dili, no? So, ang scope is kung say cover sa piece. So, unsa iyang focus, unsa iyang concentration. So, din ha, mabasa nimo ang pinaka main point in the focus of peace education is individuals, dili sa group, sa individuals. Kita ba? Kung ma-finish na to ang peace education, kung magpadayon ta o we learn about peace education, I hope this semester we need to change a little bit. Bisag gamay lang sa atong kasing-kasing o sa atong kaugalingon. And that will be good enough. Kaya mo na focus. It emphasizes the impact on the world as a whole. So, individual o a world as a whole. So, makita niyo diha. You can read about that. And then, unsay giingon sa UNICEF, unsay ilahang definitions of peace education sa UNICEF, no? Sa ganang UNICEF class, sa meaning sa UNICEF, you can read online kung sa meaning sa UNICEF. Nag-detail sila of factors that peace education must take into account and incorporate na ay pila ka factors diri 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mga factors. So I will not go, I will not kanang discuss it one by one. Mabasa man na ninyo. So you need to understand kung unsa na siya. Basta ang kani nga part sa module 2 is all about defining peace education. So of all the definition, you can draw or you can make your own definition and you will understand kung unsa gyud ang peace education para sa inyo. Okay? So it's not only educating about peace, but educating for peace. Okay? So sunod na din hidayon ang module output number 2. The same gihapon in separate A4 bond paper, follow and answer the following worksheets. So sa A4 bond paper mo inanion niyo pagtubag, inanion niyo pag-format pag-answer. So you put your name and section. You're answering question A. What is your definition of peace? Imuhang kaugali yung definition for peace. Question B. Ask your family members or your friends unsa ilahang definition sa peace. I-write ang ilahang answer. So you look for 3 friends, tulo ka buok, or 3 family members, imong papa baka, imong uncle, imong silingan. Isulat ilang ngalan, then isulat kung unsa ilang pagkabot, unsa ilang understanding about peace education. And then section 2, what is the scope of peace education? Naam to ganiya. Unsa scope sa peace education? Ay butang diya. So, sir, daghanon gyud mo sulat, sir. Depende kung unsa inyong, pero ang akong format inani siya, format unsaon yung pag-answer. Then 2, cut and paste different 6 different pictures or print some pictures demonstrating peaceful and non-peaceful situation. Write a short description below the pictures. So mangita mo og 6 ka mga pictures, i-cut ninyo inyong ipilit diha sa inyong bond paper or you're going to print it. Inani ang format ha. Dini ang picture. Then you are going to make a definition, small definition kung unsa na siya. So sama ni 2 people come to a peaceful agreement. Siya ay picture of 2 people shaking hands and 2 individuals with conflicting interests. Ang isa nagbugsay padulong sa wala, ang isa nagbugsay padulong sa different location or different direction. So unong kabok 6. That means 3 peaceful or demonstrating peaceful and another 3 for non-peaceful situations. So kung ano inyong himuon sa module number 2. So we will have module number 3. Karon sa module number 3, it talks about peace education thinkers. Who are those people who started and thinking and make philosophies, and they are the people who are important people na share or created or make ideas in peace education. So ato intended learning outcomes, we will understand the contributions of John Dewey, Maria Montessori, and Paulo Freire to the field of peace education. We will discuss these three people. They are the key thinkers of peace education. And then we can describe the key pedagogical principles that each thinker offers to the field. Now, what is pedagogical class? Pedagogical or pedagogy. Pedagogy is a term used sa pamaagi, ways of teaching. Kasi pedagogy. So pedagogical principles. So pedagogical or pedagogy is the system, the ways, the forms used by teachers. Ano siya pedagogy? Okay, so unsay mga principles, mga system, mga pamaagi ni John Dewey, unsay pamaagi ni Maria Montessori, unsay pamaagi ni Paulo Freire in teaching peace education. So muna pedagogical, no? So atong tun-an unsa ilang mga principle, each thinkers. Itong activity, the same. You have to watch this video discussion and then read and understand the provided readings. Now, introductions. So you will find few names in there. So ang peace education nagsugod ni siya early taon-taon din siya. Even sa mga major religion gina-introduce. So as I've said earlier, maybe next month we will be discussing also kung will parts atong discussion kung how we attain peace individually, and maybe we can discuss a little in our discussion may kaapil na to ang religion. So may mga spiritual visionaries, na-mention si Buddha, si Muhammad, si Lao Tse, mga peace pioneers ni sila nag-teach sa ilahang mga nag-teach na silang mga followers about the doctrines of love and compassion. Then continue na siya gi-develop sa mga another mga thinkers. Then giingon din in the 20th century it gained momentum. But pasabot ni Boylo gid bayo. Peace education in the modern world na siya another new field, and it continue to grow and it expands until these days. So ato nang mabasa sa ato ang history of peace education. Then there comes the nigawas na ang tulo ka pangalan ni John Dewey, Maria Montessori o Paulo Freire. They are considered the three major thinkers when it comes to peace education. And they just don't make thinking, they make the philosophy, and those philosophy ilang giput into practice, and they put it in the classroom. So daghan ng mga teachers, daghan mga educators nag-follow sa ilang mga idea. So we will study more about that as we move along. Then in addition sa tulo ka mga thinkers, there are more scholars contributed sa development sa peace education na si Johan Galtung sa Norway, and then apon siya iyang kaugalingong idea. So na ay mabasa na to kung unsay iyang idea about peace. And then kinsa pa, si Morrison, kanina Elise Boulding, so po siya ka influential thinker who emphasized peace education as a combination of thinking globally and acting locally. Then we have Brooke Otney, also great impacted peace education by bringing feminist perspective to the field. So na yung mga, then we have Herbert Reed, Betty Reardon, Jane Addams. So these are a few people, but in this we're going to focus only on a few people sa ato ang module number 2 na ba to? Okay. Module number 3, we're going to only to focus on a few people. First, let's talk about John Dewey. Si John Dewey. So mabasa nimo diha kung kano si John Dewey na tao o kano siya namatay. Taud-taud po din, no? American siya, an educational theorist. But pasabot he contributed in education, more on education ni siya. So he is considered as the founder of the progressive movement. Progressive. Then this movement based on promoting social change via incremental change rather than completely overhauling the system. So iyang huna-huna is we're going to make a change but hinahinay, incremental, hinahinay. Not diretso dayon. Iyang belief is sa iyang belief nag-focus sa democracy and education. So nagtudlo siya about democracy and yang link into education. So he believed the promise of humanity was limitless, and that the purpose of education is to provide people the skills and knowledge to use this potential to be the best that they could be. So ni yang gingon nga walay limit ang kuna-kuna ug ang kahibalo ug ang kakayahan sa tao. So ang kuan lang, ang purpose sa education is matudluan, makatuon og skills ang tao to practice this limitless power sa humanity. So muna yang idea on democracy and education. So you can learn more about that. You read. He mentioned also racism. Unya unsaon pagtudlo sa mga estudyante about the social problems. Before, ilang social pinakadako nga problema is about racism. Then another idea of John Dewey is creating positive environments for learning. So mabasa na to diha unsa iyang idea on positive environments. So you can create, or you can according to him, makuha na to ang peace if we create an environment of peace, di ba? So sa gubot nga lugar, so sa kalugar nga puting gubuta, so magka culture of peace pagkata. So he's trying to sell the idea na example sa school, we will create an environment of peace. So dili isog ang maestro, dili isog ang maestra, naaday kanang ganahan ang estudyante mo adto sa eskwelahan kay nganuman, it's an positive environment. So muna idea ni John Dewey na diha mga topic, students would feel connected to the topic. See, you will read all about that. You need to understand the instructional methods of John Dewey. So I will not go one by one kay lisod pud og isigutan nato na one by one, mataas na kaya to video. Right? Dayon, real world problems, which is the primary goal of education, is democracy. So iyang gisigutan earlier, akong gimension ang democracy and education. So si John Dewey, more on democracy and education. Democracy is demokrasya. Then peace education. Si John Dewey saw the destruction na hitabo sa war. So nagsugod siya og focus in educational philosophy on the value of peace education. So iyang gitudlo, he promote peace through his philosophy. Is distinctly focused on promoting peace throughout the world. And one of his main critique of the education system of his time was that it focused on teaching nationalism and patriotism, which in turn promoted more wars. So iyang mga kritiko nga nagtudlo man kag democracy, but while you're teaching democracy, you teach more about nationalism and patriotism. By promoting this, nagpadayon gyapon ka og create og war. Kay once ang tao mahigugma sa usa ka butang, usa ka lugar, makig-away na siya kung imo siyang tagaan og another idea, another thing. But he proposed, instead of internationalism, which is imuhang sabton ang imong kaugalingon sa nationalism, more on nationalism that was not bound by patriotism. Iyang gikuan nga patriotism, love of country na siya, but we need to internationalize. But pasabot sabton po na to ang country nga uban nga mga society. So he considered the teaching of history and geography to be the most important subject. Kung makabalo mo ka og history og geography, may kuingon po ka mao di ay. So mo day nga ang kaning mga tawhana na apo na sila rights dinhi kay kabalo ka sa history, sa geography po. So mo ni ang idea ni John Dewey. So adto ta sa John Dewey in action. See, I told you a while ago nga ang kaning mga peace thinker wala lang siya nag-focus in one thing. nag-focus on uh, studying about peace, but for peace. So si John Dewey, he put his idea into action. So he introduces sa mga schools, many schools sa United States nag-follow sa iyang philosophy. Kung sa man iyang philosophy, inyong may basa din I will not go over, I will not one by one put it because that will be your module output. So man ang module output, in a separate bond paper, make a lesson plan based on John Dewey's idea of peace education. Maghimo mag lesson plan. Sa inyong lesson plan, do not forget to include warmer activities. So warmer activities about basing sa idea ni John Dewey about peace education dapat na warmer activities sa inyong main lesson, then na ay dapat assessment or worksheets. Remember, your students will be young kids because B said mo. So you will check few examples on how to create lesson plans for early childhood. You can check it in the web or in the net. So kana dili na ko na i-provide. So makita ninyo din inyong basahon balik unsay idea ni John Dewey sa peace education, and then you will create a lesson plan nag-base sa iyang idea. All right? So muna atong module number 3, output number 3. Now lastly, let's talk about the module number 4, and we talk about Maria Montessori. Sa ang atong intended learning outcome is we need to understand the principles of Maria Montessori. I mean, your class, Maria Montessori is very famous to the extent nakadungo mo din sa Philippines na ay mga Montessori schools. Nagpa-follow na siya sa mga una-una ni Maria Montessori. So sa Amerika na ay gi-follow nila ang kasagaran sa mga school, gina-follow nila ang si John Dewey. Pero dito sa Pilipinas na ay mga Montessori school, nagbase na siya. So atong tunan iyang educational philosophy, and then we will be able to describe her contribution to the field of peace education. And then we will apply her ideas in a classroom setting. So ang ana to ang kuan activity here is we are going to watch this video discussion and then understand the provided readings. So while kagabasa din naghatag ko guide question. May guide question diri. What does it mean to be a global citizen? What are the elements of peaceful learning environment? How do the stage of human development affect the way peace education should be taught? Introduction, makita ninyo din asa nagsugod si Maria Montessori, unsa iyang trabaho, unsa iyang unsa iyang affiliation, sa iyang gitun-an. Dayon iyang philosophy, sa iyang philosophy. Diri mabasa nato ni. Nindot ni ko si Maria Montessori. Si Maria Montessori kuan nag present siya sa iyang idea. Ang problema lang niya is excuse me class. Si Maria Montessori, kwapo kay iyang idea. But as you can see sa iyang life, 1870 to 1952, wala siya nag-live long. So that is why na problema siya. It's not a problem, but she died early, and then ang iyang idea wala na push through. But that's what other people is thinking, wala na push through. Pero makita na to nga until today, ang iyang philosophy is practiced by a lot of people, a lot of educational system. So, like John Dewey introduced positive environment. But Maria Montessori, ingon siya, when you introduce peace education sa imong mga estudyante, you need to prepare the environment. Oh. So nakisgod di siya diri og children freedom, then supports, nag-isgod po siya og learning supports, then the process of individual and group exploration also teaches that students about imagination. Muna iyang mga idea. Self-discipline, mabasa man ninyo diha. So, ako lang gipang mention. So, muna ang preparation sa environment. So, ang idea ni Maria Montessori is you need to prepare the environment so that ang environment, prepare na siya, ang estudyante pag-adto niya, muna mga Montessori school karon class, hindot kayo mga Montessori school because nagbase na siya sa huna-huna ni Maria Montessori. Right. Planes of development. Naa siya mga idea kung unsaon nimo pag-approach according to ages. So naay 4 planes of development sa child or developmental periods. First is the age of prudence, 0 to 6 years old. Construction of the physical concrete plane. So physical concrete plane. Self-awareness. So ang bata 0 to 6 years old, which is mao na mahimong estudyante ninyo when you become a busy teacher, 0 to 6 years old. Self-awareness. So we will focus, the teacher will focus on the physical concrete plane. So nga ikaw, apa ka, munay kuan anak, kuan ka anak. So munay focus about physical. And we have 6 to 12, age of temperance. It's a construction of intelligence plane. Pag abot sa 6, padulong sa 12, intelligence. That is according to Maria, no? Then, age of justice, 12 to 18. Construction of social moral plane. So, 12 to 18. So, in that periods, sa the age of fortitude, that is 18 to 24. Spiritual plane. Spiritual plane. So, kaning upat ka mga planes, according to Maria Montessori, naa diha gi-introduce ang peace education. Little bit. Physically, how you will love your physical self. How will you have peace education or peace within yourself. Then, intelligence, you will have to learn more about peace sa other nga mga area. And then, justice, socially, how can you provide socially, unsaon nimo provide ang imong, how to use yourself to be useful sa others and to be an agent of change or an agent of peaceful change. Then fortitude, muna spiritually. That is another level of peace. Muna nga, pag-graduate sa college, na uban nga mo biyahe all over the world, mangita maadto sa mukaan mga temple, magtuon o yoga tungod kay nana diha ang spiritual plane, nana diha ang fortitude. So muna gi-introduce ni si Maria Montessori believe nga naay ang mga bata have spiritual impulses. Kinahanglan in nurture, kinahanglan og guidance. So gapo kay ni og idea si Maria Montessori. And if I going to discuss all of it, dili maigo sa usa ka videohan. So ato lang siyang i-discuss in passing. Anyway, you can read it. So hopefully ma-enjoy niyo na, no? And then positive peace. Na iya pong i-introduce ang positive peace. Unsay purpose or iyang idea on peace education, ingon siya, is not simply about stopping war and violence, but to promote positive peace. So, panghuna-huna ba? Positive peace. Iyang gisgutan diri ang tolerance. Tolerance. She wrote about inherent in the very meaning of the word peace. Ang iyang positive notion is constructive social reform. So, naana diya niya gibutang. Dayon, sa like John Dewey, si Montessori, iya pong gibutang kung in action. So, as I've said earlier, many educational institutions have followed Maria Montessori's kanang idea about peace education, or about educating for peace or educating about peace, right? So giunsa niya na ay oras-oras sa schools. Children typically begin the day with 3 hours of uninterrupted self-directed work. Tagaan sila work nga abo silang kaugalingon, 3 hours na siya. Dayon, student engage in activity-based classification, sequencing, exploration. Mo ni idea ni Montessori ha sa pagtudlo og peace. Then the role of the teacher is they are the source of knowledge rather than structural guide. So source of knowledge, manghatag lang mo gan idea. So there are a lot of institution nga nagfollow na ano sila walking, magbaklay ni sila sa walking along the forest. Dayon ang maestra magsiyaw mag-isig istorya nga muna siya munay idea ni Montessori. Then na yung mga field trips, design field trips. Ang important part, the students are also involved in the design of field trips, which is the one of the most important parts sa ihang curriculum. Then naa siya practical technique sa classroom. Yun siya, which is the method of conflict resolution. So she encouraged children to solve conflicts independently and non-violently. So the idea of Montessori, kung naa gani mag-away-away, ayaw din pag-interrupt ang teacher. So magsumbong mong ang bata dayon, ma'am, si kuan ma'am, nag-away sila ni kuan. Ang iyang idea is they will resolve their conflict independently but non-violently. So kita, when we follow her idea, we are the source of, and we will be just like guide, ganang mura guides. So in her technique, teachers prepare a peace rose, which serves as a communication tool for the children who are in conflict. So nasa peace rose or rose method, and you will read more about that one. So mo na iyang idea, when children are having a conflict, they are encouraged to get the peace rose. Ang kubot siya, peace rose din, butangan niya yung peace rose dito sa tunga sa classroom. Kung naa sila trouble, kaunto niya. Kung saan to, unsay mga pamagi. So I did not included the rose method in here, but you can read for sure. You can read about that one. So that is the idea of Montessori na siya mga kuan, resolution in the classroom. Then in conclusion, Maria Montessori made important contribution to the field of peace education by promoting learner-centered pedagogy, diversity, and global citizenship. So munay na-contribute ni Montessori. As I've said, because her idea is very precious and important, there are a lot of institutions who have followed her philosophy and even made a school na purely munang na Montessori school. So ang atong module output number 4, in an A4 bond paper, print or make a worksheet for kids basing on Montessori's idea of peace education. So paghimo mo, pangita mo og worksheet for kids nga nagbase sa idea ni Montessori. Usa na siya ka bond paper ha, usa na siya ka A4 bond paper. Then module 5 or module output number 5. So in this segment, in this module, is not ang atong output is 5 ka buok. So output number 5 is search and read about the idea of Paulo Freire. So as I mentioned, tulo ka buok peace education thinkers. Si Dewey, si Montessori, o si Paulo Freire. So you're going to search about Paulo Freire, unsay iyang idea about peace education, and in a separate A4 bond paper, make a summary of his idea. Write how can Freirean ideas be applied in a classroom. Unsaon pag-apply sa iyang idea sa classroom. So 5 ka buok ang inyong module output. So today we have discussed We have discussed our modules. We have discussed the scope or the history of peace education. So from the start, no? Taas-taas naman gini, history of peace education, ang definition, then peace education thinkers. So, una no, taas-taas naman gini natong na-discuss. I hope nga through this few discussion nga akong ihatag sa inyo ha, you will understand new modules and you will not find time or hard time answering it. So I hope nga makatabang ni sa inyo tanan class. And if you have any questions, just don't hesitate to ask me in the chat group. So mangutana lang mo dito sa chat group. Ayaw lang ko ninyo pangutan one by one because I don't want to answer it balik-balik na question. So usahay na lang, isahon na lang. Na may concern about sa atong module na may pangutana, put it in the chat group and I will answer it. Okay? I will answer it. And when another concerns will arise, so just inform me. So now my questions on atong modules, feel free. And then again, I have put a small paper kauban sa inyong module kung kanus ani nato ipasa. Ato ang soft copy sa tanan yung module class, inyong picturean as soft copy, isend niyo sa ato ang kanang group sa Facebook group. So I will assign people, I will choose people to create a Facebook group para dito ninyo nato i-assign ang ato ang mga soft copy. So ang soft copy will be passed on April 5 and then ang hard copy will be passed on April 13. That is Tuesday, April 13. So April 13 I will be staying dito sa atong school. I'll be waiting for your mga module output. So ako mismo ang mudawat ana. So again, April 5 will be the soft copy. Mga siya ang until 6 o'clock lang ta. Okay? Until 6 o'clock. Makita man nato na ang time dito. And then pagka April 13, I will be waiting to receive your module output. And then during that day, you will receive also the module for the month of April. So I hope you will find this video helpful sa pag-answer niyo yung modules. And God bless us all. Take care and see you next video.